A girl once lived in a box full of lies. Her parents lied as they sieved truth through disguise. Because those two bred while they weren't clean, not in a bed, 'cause they were under quarantine. They hid in the witch's house where no one dared go, used tools that were never used for that before, poked around with everything and poked themselves with stuff. They used a dead parrot's wing to make it more rough, and what came out 9 months later was a total mess. So many feelings of disgust they would suppress. Just because it's their daughter, it's okay. She was a little bother, but she had to stay. One arm was slightly shorter than the other. She looked nor like the mother, neither like the father, but more like the dead thing they did not dare touch. The gore and eyes that did not blink were way too much. Chewing on flesh she found kicked by the guard, spewing it around when she thought it was way too hard. One day she wished for a dog like normal kids, with those unblinking, fog-like eyes with no lids. They thought and debated on what they should do. They fought and they waited till this wish was through. But they didn't stop that wish. She wanted the pet. She tossed and dropped like a fish, slimy and wet.
"Oh, Mother, just let me have one. Please take no notice of what I have done. I promise I'll care for it each and every day. Every moment I'll spare for it, and it will be okay."
They decided they'd give her the pleasure of that. No point to fight it. They'd start with a rat. A pincher was given to the chained young girl. It ran to the corner, shivering and curled. But soon they became the very best of friends, the only one who was the same, the only one who understands. They fight over who had the sharpest long teeth. They do it by molding them on fresh, raw meat. But one day they noticed there was no one. So many times up would go the sun. Still nobody came and no one would. They were left to cry alone, rolling in the mud. So they stood in chains, not knowing what to do. Only bone and brains was left of them too. They had not eaten in so long it hurt. They both looked to each other like the last meat on earth. Suddenly, a sound of breaking filled the air, one that the little girl was making in despair. She broke her teeth, but could indeed break one chain, willing to be its meat, so her life would not have been in vain.
"I wasn't fit for this world. You should go,"
she said through bloody smile like never before. Ripped open her chest so it clenched its thirst. A sacrifice for the best. To her, this was a first. It looked at her with black eyes, realizing her deed, let out a few cries, and started to feed. Then it stood by her till she died completely, then pushed her on her side, so she was lying neatly. A nose way too big and ears so small. No hair, just a wig, which was starting to fall. But to that dog it seemed to be so pretty, a kissed frog that needed to be given no pity. So it went through the door and never looked back. Lying on the floor was a heart just starting to crack.